exceptional humans. The last time I heard Richard Colata was in this room in San Antonio, Texas. It was a small room with just about 15,000 seats. And they were standing room only. So I'm personally really looking forward to hearing Richard, Gurcharan Das ji, there is Gauri from CSF. Some exceptional conversations would happen. Our anchor did share already. Some delays have been caused at the start, but we promise we'll finish this on time. So in the interest of... You won't finish it on time? Well, at least I wouldn't cause the delay. So let's get lunch, come back, so we can get started super soon. Thank you.
Is at the center. And this session is a recorded message by Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, a globally renowned spiritual leader, humanitarian and founder of the Art of Living Foundation. Gurudev has dedicated his life to promoting peace, harmony, and human values through spiritual wisdom and practical guidance. His initiatives in education, conflict resolution, stress management, and youth empowerment have touched millions of lives across the world. Recognized with numerous awards and honors, he has been a tireless advocate for building compassionate societies where every child is nurtured, valued, and given the opportunity to flourish. Today we will reflect on the future of education. His message reminds us that the true measure of progress lies in keeping the child at the very center of our efforts. So may we now play the video.
Every child that has come to this planet has come as they grow in school and to college, or they are diminishing. One thing is noted already by social scientists, that a baby smiles 400 times a day, an adolescent only 17 times, an adult doesn't smile at all. So what is that we can do to keep the enthusiasm, creativity, the friendly attitude of a child, at the same time grow into more entrepreneurial spirit and make them a powerhouse of knowledge? And today's generation are very fortunate because they get everything at the fingertips. Technology has made education so much easier. 40 years back, you had to go to library, spend hours to first get the index and then the book and then go through it. Today, the children get everything, in no time. So, our kids cannot be only a barrel of information. They have to be growing up with human values, and that's what the tradition is all about. Tradition is your nature, how by your nature, your personality, you can bring joy and happiness in your surroundings. What good is that education which makes someone depressed and unhappy through their whole life, isn't it? So the education must be oriented towards empathy, and that can happen when we imbibe tradition and technology. And I'm very glad this theme of this conference, New Balance, has come up with so many students around the country who are taking these educational programs. I would tell them, you balance your right and left brain. 2 M's you must not forget. Music to enhance your right brain activity and mathematics to enhance your left brain activity. Let there not be imbalance in them. This is very necessary. Then keep that mischievous spirit that you are endowed with. Yeah? At the same time, be compassionate to those who are less fortunate. So with these values getting imbibed in your life, you have a very, very, very bright future. I would say the whole world belongs to you. Own it even now. Don't have to wait till you become adult. You have to get the feeling you own the whole globe. So you become environmentally conscious, you honor the old tradition. See, life is like a tree, right? The roots are ancient, the shoots are new. Similarly, our traditions are ancient, we need to value them, and technologies like the shoots which give us the fruits. So we need to balance these two, and I'm glad so many thousands of teachers are involved in this noble venture, and let this expand and cover the rest of the population of students in this country and elsewhere in the world. Om Shanti.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Gurudev Ji for that very profound and inspiring message we had from him. After that powerful message from Gurudev Ji, we will move into a panel discussion on balancing natural and artificial intelligence, redefining purpose in education. As artificial intelligence becomes an integral part of classrooms, the challenge before us is not just technological, but deeply human too. This session, which we are now very shortly going to begin, will explore on how schools can nurture the natural intelligence, critical thinking, emotional resilience, and ethical clarity, embracing the immense opportunities on AI. Our panel will reflect on how to integrate AI tools without losing sight of the human judgment, empathy, and values, the whole topic on which this year's conference is based on, and how school teachers can model the inner balance in an era of constant change. The discussions will also offer pathways for shaping policies and practices where technology empowers, but purpose endures. Let's welcome our distinguished moderator for the session, Mr. Vardan Kabra, who is Vice President of Arise and co-founder of Fountainhead School. A noted educationist and reformer, Mr. Kabra has been instrumental in building Fountainhead School into one of India's most prestigious IB schools. As head of school, he has championed student-centered pedagogy and teacher mentoring. He was the lead author of the FICCI Arise paper on liberalization of India's private schools 2021. Beyond education, he has represented India internationally in Ultimate Frisbee and is a strong advocate for sports education as an integral part of learning. Once again, a warm welcome to you, sir. Inviting our eminent panelists, Mr. Savio Rodrigues, who is a politician, journalist, and advocate for AI in healthcare and education, who is an influential journalist and commentator on governance, democracy, and global affairs, and he is a fearless investigative reporter and policy analyst and a strong advocate of artificial intelligence for social good, particularly in healthcare and education. His work has positioned India at the forefront of democratic dialogue and ethical AI adoption. And we welcome our eminent panelists, Ms. Jaina Desai, who is a meditation trainer, educationist, and director, Art of Living Schools, who is overseeing 120 institutions across India, the Middle East, and the Nepal. A lawyer by training, she has also served as head of Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar's Secretariat for International Affairs. With decades of experience in education and spiritual leadership, she combines deep insights on meditation, empathy, and holistic learning in reimagining education for the future. And finally, we would like to invite Miss Angelique Smith, who's Principal Consultant, School Curriculum and Standards Authority, Government of Western Australia. She leads the global outreach and implementation of the Western Australian Certificate of Education in India, aligning international standards with India's NEP 2020, with expertise in curriculum design, teacher training, and competency-based learning. She is helping schools embrace inquiry-driven and globally benchmarked education practices. With this diverse and distinguished panel, we look forward to a meaningful conversation on how AI can be balanced with human intelligence to create schools that nurture both minds and hearts. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause to welcome our distinguished panelists as I hand over to our moderator, Mr. Vardan Kabra, to kindly carry forward the dialogue. Over to you, sir.
So, welcome everyone. The post-lunch session is supposed to be a challenging one, but I think we'll endeavor to make it an interesting one for all of you. I thank Ange. She said not to call her Angelique. Yeah, Jaina and Savio to the panel. They've come from all parts of India and Australia here today. So excited to be with you. So I think the first question that we're going to ask is a simple one. Everyone has been talking about it, but what is your personal reference or usage or view about AI yourself at a personal level? Yeah. It's working, I think. No.
One, two, there we go. Yeah. Hello, thank you for having me. My personal view on AI usage, it's inevitable. It's something that is already happening. It's been happening for many years. We may just not have thought about the fact that a Google search is AI. So I think that we need to learn how to use it in a way that is productive and brings value rather than misinformation.
Thanks, Anne.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to second what Ange is saying. Thank you so much for having me here on this panel today. Good afternoon to you all. Well, to me, AI is personally, I'm quite excited by it. In my own personal journey, if I want to write something or if I want to draw something, all of that is extremely exciting to me. And I also think that as a generation, we forget that we don't only study or learn when we are in our school days or in our college days, but we're eternal learners of life. And I think AI gives us that opportunity to keep learning more and more. But I also would like to caution that some guardrails need to be maintained around AI. Thank you.
Yes, Savio, you are, of course, an evangelist, I think, almost for AI. So let's see what you have to say on this.
Well, thank you for having invited me here. I know after a heavy lunch, many of you all would be a little tired, but let us try and make it a little bit more exciting. So how am I connected to AI? I have my own personal AI called Sophia, which my team has created, and I use Sophia to do my reminders, my calls that I need to make, the meetings I have, the analysis of that meeting. So you can call me crazy, but I'm one of these aspiring politicians that uses AI to do my work. So instead of having my secretary do my work, I've created an AI secretary that actually does my work for me, and her name is Sophia. I named her Sophia because it means wisdom, and hopefully she gives me wise advices when I require that advices, right? But on a more Bain level, let me say, there is nothing artificial about artificial intelligence. Whoever coined the word artificial intelligence must have been sleeping or doing a lot of coding at that time and couldn't think of an appropriate word, so he came up with the word artificial intelligence. Because there's nothing artificial about it, it's real. Because humans code, humans program, humans make it. It came into existence to make life better, like every other technology, every other appliance in this world has come to make life better. Of course, you're going to be afraid of it, some people, and some people are going to be crazy about it like me. It's just like having a knife in your hand, right? You can use the knife to cut food, to use it to chop a few things, and if you're stupid enough, you'll chop your hand as well. So you got to be careful with the knife. That is what AI is all about.
Thanks, Savio. So let's move the conversation to the two of you have deep educational backgrounds, and you obviously are a policymaker around education. So what is your view about AI in education? And this is where the big question of today we are trying to answer. That do you see usage of AI in education at a deep level? And is it a problem with respect to natural intelligence as, well, Savio will not agree with the differentiation between natural and artificial. But let's for a moment say that, okay, whatever is the computer is saying is artificial and what we can think about is natural. So do you think there is a distinction or a dichotomy between the two?
So very nice. I think your question has two parts. I'd like to start with a little bit from the Meda Suktam of the Rig Veda, which says that let me receive all the intelligence that is inherent in this entire universe. Let me be worthy of receiving it. So that implies that there is intelligence in every particle, in every cell of this entire universe. Whether we distinguish it as natural or artificial, that's another thing. And I think that there's no going back on AI, on the usage of AI, and especially in education. Today in India, we face a huge challenge. We have close to 10 million teachers in schools, serving a large population. Many of these teachers don't get time to complete their assignments. Students do not get individual attention, and they require it from time to time. You know, class of 40 is being taught the same thing, whether a child is brilliant or not so good at that subject, the child is being taught in exactly the same way. So I think AI is going to give us, or is already giving us, a wonderful journey of personalization, of customization for every child, for every student. It's also going to allow teachers to be freer, to get more time to work on themselves, to focus on human values, on courage, on compassion, on empathy. You know, that is the theme for us today. And I don't think that teachers are going to become redundant at all in the future. In fact, teachers will have greater responsibilities away from the mundane chores of checking assignments and of standing in the class with a chalk and a blackboard. They're going to have to be role models. They're going to have to live the values that we speak of, and they're going to have to be empathetic, understanding, coordinated, compassionate. And that is where we tap into the natural intelligence, the universal intelligence that is innate in every being on this planet. And that tapping into, that reaching into, is what meditation and spiritual practices are all about. That gives us the edge in this world of, I would say, frenetic AI activity at one level, but to be able to find that source of calm within and to access the universal and the natural intelligence.
Fantastic. Thank you, ma'am. And you want to answer the same question?
I don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah? Okay. I think that in schools, it will become essential for teachers to use it and model good AI usage. I think it will be very scary for a lot of teachers who tend to stick to what they know, but it's going to become something that from a very, very young age, children will need to learn what it is, how to use it appropriately, because it's already being used. So in higher education, the way they are assessing students is changing. You can get AI to write an entire thesis for you, but if you can't explain it, if you can't understand and actually apply the knowledge that you say you have written, then where is the learning? So the natural intelligence is being able to actually critically engage with the tools that we have in order to use them effectively.
So let me just ask you a follow-up on that. If what you're saying is that you obviously can write assignments using AI very easily. That's something that, or do the homework, in school very easily. But you need to build your own skills alongside, which is the natural intelligence, that you're talking about. Now, how do you make both of them happen together effectively? Is there some work that has already happened? Is there something that you're familiar with that you can talk about?
Sure. So in classrooms in Western Australia, they now use a flipped model of assessment. So you can write your research paper, your persuasive essay, but you come in and you get asked, three questions. You don't know what the questions are, but they're based on what you have written. If you cannot answer those questions, it's a pretty big giveaway that you actually didn't do the writing.
All right. Savio. The same question, yeah, same question. Since I know you already talking about, you spoke of the profile thing earlier. I think that's the I think great way. The same thing you've done for yourself personally. How would it be if every kid had a personal assistant?
So I always believed that technology, in this case, artificial intelligence, for a lack of a better word at this point of time for it, was always going to be an enabler. It is a tool. It is not the person. Let me explain what I'm saying. And this is from a personal experience. So when I was in school in Dubai, I studied at the Aaron English High School. I had a very good friend. I'm not going to name him. So he didn't do very well in the prelims to the board exams, and the school didn't allow him to give his board exams, and then he left school. Okay? This particular friend, even though I went ahead, got educated, did a lot, he did complete his education, but not as much as I did, is far more successful as a business entrepreneur than I am. Right? And I have no shame in saying that, because he did very well for himself. Somewhere, something at that schooling level did not identify his skill set that later on got honed to make him far more, after with all my education, I could not achieve in terms of entrepreneurship. Right? Not that we are that far away, but he's certainly much ahead of me. What am I trying to say? I'm saying teachers in the past were teachers. Their job was to come and teach. And that, to me, is a very limited role of what a teacher is. The teacher of today, with the availability of technology and artificial intelligence, is not a teacher anymore. It is a coach. It is a guide. It is a guru, for a more stronger word. And that is why our belief systems in India spoke about guru. Why? Because they don't teach you a subject. They teach you the application of that subject and its the ability to use it in life and in the life's journey of yours. But because teachers were restricted in their thought process, they remain teachers. With AI, what will happen is that the teaching aspect will continue to be sort of lessened, and the guru aspect or the coaching aspect will increase. And therefore, I don't think the teachers need to be afraid. I think the teachers need to evolve to become gurus and coaches for students, because that is what is required in today's day and age, because the Gen Z today is far more advanced in technology than the millennials like us would ever be at this point of time.
Thanks, Savio. That's fantastic. So let me ask you on this. I mean, this question is for all of you. Is that, let's say what you're saying does happen. Teachers do adapt, and teachers are able to bring in AI with guardrails, with the right effectiveness. Now, one problem that remains is, and we were speaking about this earlier, is the assessments are still the same. If the assessments don't change, if the endpoint doesn't change, why there is little incentive for school systems or teachers to bring in AI in a meaningful manner? So, and then this is, I mean, you have a non-Indian context, but you understand the challenges of a more conventional education, and we, of course, know it more deeply. What is your thought on, is there a relationship, do you think, first of all, between the fact that if assessments don't change, the adoption of AI in education meaningfully is going to be a challenge? And if yes, how do assessments need to change?
I believe every student or every human is unique. But I also understand that the teacher is limited by their capabilities, their own biases, to be able to assess every student. You are not going to be able to do that, because you are looking, in most cases, you're looking at whether the student who's in your class is going to get the top grade. You want them to make 96%, 99%, now even 100%. But there might be a student in that class who might not be of that percentage, but is a great sports person, has got something related to arts in him. Maybe is somebody who's able to code better than the guy who scored 99%. Some of the guys who are making AI programs at this point of time, who are doing excellent work in Web3 space, which is something we millennials are still on www. Right? But there is a Web3 that the Gen Z is using. They could do it better than us, and we are educated 96%, 92% people. The point is, every student has got and is an asset to this country and an asset to this world. The role of a teacher, like I'm repeating again, is that of a coach and a guru to bring out the best in that using the tools available. And AI is a tool available to do just that. To assess, to bring out the best, to identify weakness, which otherwise your mind may or may not be able to do across day in and day out. It's not humanly possible. That's why you create a program that is able to do that for you so that you don't give in to human biases. That's the way I look at it.
So actually, I'm going to just tell you a story. This is something quite incredible that I witnessed. So we sent a busload of our Art of Living teachers and volunteers to the Nasik School for Blind. We know the children cannot see through these eyes, through the physical eyes. And we conducted the Art of Living intuition program for these students. And within a few days of learning these techniques of meditation, of various techniques are taught in the program, without being able to see through the physical eyes, they were able to touch a piece of paper or a book and tell you what color it is, what was drawn on it, and so on and so forth. It's quite amazing and incredible. Now, that is what makes us understand that for us, the paradigms of education are reading, writing, mathematics, memorizing a few things. But actually, learning and education are beyond that. They go beyond the five senses. They are enablers. Learning and education are enablers for us to live, not just survive in this world, but to thrive in this world, to be happier beings with whatever challenges we face. And I don't think a child of 10 who cannot see, I think very few people will have greater challenges than that. That is the reality. To be able to pick up a book and say, with not being able to see physically, that this color is red, it's something quite incredible. And that is where I think today we all sitting in this room as education leaders, we need to redefine the purpose of education and the means of delivery of education. Going beyond assessments, going beyond marks, going beyond the classroom. We have to think, as Savio said so beautifully, that every child is unique. Every individual has innate abilities which may not be classroom friendly, but as teachers for us, with the help of AI, I think we can focus on giving children a personalized learning journey. We can focus on those aspects and allow the child to develop his or her intuition, creativity, and a sense of calm in this world of immense challenges. Today's generation faces greater challenges than any of the previous generations in human history, and we all know it. And I don't think with all these technological advances, I'm not sure if we are really happier than people were in the past, if there are less wars or less conflict or less poverty. But I think as educationists, that is our goal, to have students coming out of our institutions who are happy, balanced, and who find their true purpose in life. And that is where I think we all must rethink what education truly is. Thank you.
Thank
NAP.
you. Okay, you may want to elaborate on that. We do understand what you're saying, but if you quickly can.
Yeah, NEP. We're 5 years in, India is 5 years in. Slowly, I'm seeing when I visit schools what that actually means as they introduce it into LKG, UKG, first standard, second standard, and assessment is changing. The way that teachers are engaging with students and engaging them with the curriculum is changing. And it's really lovely to see that it is starting to happen. Change in education takes time. It takes a long time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So in the next 5 years, I'm so excited to see where teachers are, you know, moving up until 12th standard, because the world is changing. NEP is slowly being rolled out. 12th standard exams, you can have open book now, is that correct? Is that not a form of artificial intelligence? So it is changing, slowly, but we will get there.
All right. Is there a specific example from Western Australia, I mean, the system that you've used to where, I mean, is it, where assessment have changed significantly, I mean, with AI coming in? Has that happened as yet, or is it something that's going to happen in the next few?
I think it's happening now. So we've been assessing in many different ways for a little while now, but AI is the next challenge. And teachers take a long time to come to terms with change. So that's the next step.
All right. Thank you. Do we have time for audience questions? No, we don't. Okay. All right. So if you don't have time for audience questions, thank you, Savio, Jaina, and Ange, for your contributions here. I think it was fantastic to interact with you and hear your thoughts, and such diversity and deep thoughts on AI education and the balance between natural and artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you. And before we close the proceedings, I would request our session moderator, Mr. Vardan Kabra, to do the honors of presenting a small token of gratitude and appreciation to all our eminent panelists. We begin with honoring Mr. Savio Rodrigues. Thank you, sir, for all those valuable insights we had. Ms. Jaina Desai. And to Ms. Angie Smith. Thank you. And can I request for a group photograph before we close this session?
Then we go back. Okay, front is good.
Have a huge round of applause for that wonderful session we had. We would request everyone to kindly remain seated as we are straight away moving ahead with our keynote session 2.